This is your first time. Betsy, Norma, no, it isn't your first time. Welcome. We do this once a month. It's just a sing-along. It's not a performance-based. It's just for your pleasure. And sometimes you know the songs and sometimes you don't, but we always put the words on the screen. And I don't know how this started, but somewhere along the, hey Elizabeth, I hadn't seen you come in. Somewhere along the line, I started playing a few notes to see if you could name that tune. We have some wimps in here who want 12 notes, but I'm not giving 12. And then we have some geniuses in here who can get it in 2 or 3. But let's see how brave you are. She's being brave today. She told me 2 notes, maybe 1. Yeah, okay, all right. Caroline, sweet Caroline, 1 note for you. If you get it, I will give you $1 million. That was it, Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
No, but that's a good song. We did that song today in Drum Fit. I'm telling you, you did. And we have a band that we're forming, and it's going to be one of our songs, Sweet Caroline. Bop, bop, bop. We all know it. This is not Sweet Caroline. 3 notes. It's from the 50s. A lot of our music we're choosing now is from the 50s and 60s. Want more notes? That's 4 notes.
Right there, the tip of my tongue.
All right, more notes? Brenda, hum it. That's it. She's. All right, here's some chords and rhythm. Okay, the title is in the first notes. Sometimes it's buried in the lyrics. The title is those notes you just heard.
Baby.
All right, don't help him, Doug. Mary said baby without Doug helping you. Okay, Doug, don't baby Mary. That's right, you're right. That's right. You've got pieces of it. Here's the title. I'll give you a visual hint. All right, here's a visual hint. Turn. Put your head on my shoulder. They got it. They got it. All right, here we go.
I was hoping she got to the kiss me ones.
You want me to get to the kissing part, Nita.
All right.
Introduction, Doug, are you ready?
Ready.
Lips close to mine. That's it.
Put your hand on my shoulder. Hold me in your arms, baby. Squeeze me oh so tight. Show me that you love me too. Put your lips close to mine, dear. Won't you kiss me once, baby?
you remember that song? Weren't they sweet songs and innocent back then? I was listening to one the other day. It was by the Everly Brothers. It's not in our set today, but it was Wake Up Little Susie. You remember that? And he said they fell asleep at the movies. They were innocent, but they said, our goose is cooked, our reputation is shot. We don't live in that day anymore, do we? Nobody's worried about their reputation, and mom and daddy don't know where they are. All right. How many notes? 3. Who was that brave soul? Gwen? Sybil. All right, Sybil, I count on you. You know what? That's what I thought of too. Here we are, but it's not. But it's the same notes. Same notes, Caroline. You get credit for getting it wrong, but I thought the same tune. Took a different turn. Okay, this may or may not help. It's in minors. Does that help you? How many of you understand what that means? It means it's kind of sad. Listen to the chord. Anything coming to mind? Yes, Scarborough Fair. How many remember Scarborough Fair? There you go. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. All right, here's your introduction. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who was there. He once was a true love of mine. Have him found me an acre of land. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Between the sea and over the land, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Dear, when thou hast finished thy task, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, come to me, my hand for to ask, for thou art then a true love of mine. All right. How many notes shall I give them? I'm going to give you 3 because this one's a little, I think, easier. Yes, I told you it was easier. I heard several say it. Who wrote it? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Anybody know who wrote it? No, but his initials are BB. That's right, Burt Bacharach. We sang this at church recently, didn't we, Elizabeth? Her sermon was on what the world needs now. And she said, I hope the Lord will be okay with us singing this. Well, I think the Lord is okay, and here's why. Burt Bacharach and Hal David wrote What the World Needs Now several years before it was used. And then in 1968, they found themselves needing one more song for an unfinished recording session, and Dionne Warwick heard the song, and she loved it instantly and straightforwardly, so she sang it, and it made such a success the very first year that it was born. And David, who wrote the lyrics, said he was trying to imagine the world and how God had given such an abundance of everything. We have mountains and hillsides enough to climb. We have oceans and rivers enough to cross until the end of the time. And I think the second verse, I don't know if I have it or not. There is another verse that talks about other things in nature that God gave us. But what we need to do in this world that he's given such abundance is love. And so I thought it was interesting that the song lyrics came out of God's giving us so much and our part. So let's sing what the world needs now.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
It's the only thing that there's just too little of.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
No, not just for some,
but for everyone.
Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to last till the end of time.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. No, not just for some, but just for everyone.
That was pretty. I think we need to get a bus and go on the road. Not very far, though, because I want to be in my own bed by nightfall. All right. Name this tune in 4 notes.
Smell the smoke?
Yeah, I can, from everybody thinking, don't burn the building down, all that brain power.
Mary had a little hand.
No.
That's Mary's.
That's her fallback song. Y'all are not clinking clearly today, are you? You're trying. All right, I'm going to give you a little bit more. Yes, who said that? You're pretty good at this.
Yankee Doodle.
I'll tell you what, it's Yankee
That's
Doodle.
2, Owen. That's great.
Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Goody, and there I saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. There were a bunch of verses to this. I think 8 or 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There were 16, but I thought you'd want to get to supper, so we only sang 2. What is hasty pudding and who is Captain Gooding? I meant to look it up. Any historians here? Ron, you know everything. Not this. All right, well, there's your assignment, Ron. Let me know who
You know
Captain...
why they put the macaroni?
I have too, but I don't know what it is.
Put a macaroni in their cap?
Why?
Because it was a takeoff on the wealthy from England had all those feathers and so forth.
So all they
they
had was
stuck a macaroni in to mock them,
I
to
didn't
make
know.
fun of them.
I did read that pudding used to be made mostly of meat, sausage and meats put in intestines. And that's why tasting, the test is in the taste, yeah, what is that saying? The taste, you taste the pudding or something. And you could die from it if it was bad meat, so. All right.
Taste.
What is,
The proof is in the.
the proof is in the pudding. That's because you'd have to taste it to know if it's safe. All right. Is this a guessing one or is it up there?
I don't think it's a guessing one. We'll just sing this one.
Okay. You got the words up then?
Uh-huh. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on.
Let's sing verse 1 again, a cappella, all right?
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
Well, your little reminder told you that we have a trio today. And this has happened more than once. For about 15, 20 years, my sister-in-law, Gwen, and I, and Patty sang together. The last time we sang, I think it was for, wasn't it for your drama, Brenda? And Patty was sick, and we found a substitute. Well, Patty's sick again, and we still have the same substitute. So your resident trio today was supposed to be all ladies, but it's going to be Gwen and me and Doug filling in for Patty. He's very good at doing that, isn't he? Are you doing the melody?
You want me to do
I think so. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fall into place. Gwen said we just sort of wing this, and we do. But one day, Patty will join us. Where could I go? Do you know the song, Where Could I Go But to the Lord? It's a very old one. It's an old gospel song. All right, we're going to sing it. Y'all sing along if you know it. If not, just enjoy it.
Living below in this so sinful world, hardly a comfort can afford. Striving alone to face temptation sore, where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend to help me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Neighbors are kind, I love them everyone. We get along in sweet accord. But when my soul needs manna from above, where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend to help me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Wouldn't you like to hear just the ladies?
We got no melody if you leave
You
us.
can sing the melody.
Okay.
Is that throwing you under the bus? You singing the same thing?
Life here is grand, with friends I love so dear. Comfort I get from God's own word. Yet when I face the chilling hand of death, where could I go but to the Lord? Sing it with us, you know it. Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend to save me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go but to the Lord? One more time. Where could I go but to the Lord? Thank you. Thank you for joining us. You know, as I sang that second verse, neighbors are kind, I love them everyone, I just thought how blessed we are to live where we live. Our neighborhood is different than anything I've ever lived in. How about y'all? We know and love each other, and we share life together, and we go through that chilling hand of death together too. But we don't go through it alone. We have each other. and we have the Lord. And there's so many here who can testify to that. So that's just a good song to me. Now, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum of genres, here we go. Name this tune.
Go to the devil?
No, not that opposite. Not that opposite, Caroline. That is opposite. Genres, not message. Let's see. That sounds like, are you sleeping? But it's not. Okay. I'll give you one more note. What do you want? Rhythm, chords, or more notes?
Yes.
All of the above? Okay, I'll give you all of the above. That's it, Sweet Georgia Brown. Several of you got it together. See, it is a totally different genre. Here we go. No girl made as God as she knows, sweet Georgia Brown. Two left feet, but oh so sweet as sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and want to die for sweet Georgia Brown. I'll tell you just why. You know I don't lie, not much. It's been said she knocks them dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why it's a shame how she cools them down. Oh boy, tip your hands. Oh joy, she's the cat. Georgia claimed her, Georgia named her sweet Georgia Brown. That goes back to the 20s, so we dipped a little further in our history. This, again, is from the 60s, the early 60s, and it says modern rock, but today that's sleepy elevator music. You know, the songs we considered, they're not anymore. Here's your tune. Come on in, Pete. Good to have you. Come on in. Have a seat anywhere. You want more notes? Rhythm? What do you need? Okay, rhythm? Okay, I'm going to give you a big hint. Rhythm is very appropriate to this song. Listen to the rhythm. That's it. I think you got it, Laura. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. You remember it? All right, here's your introduction. You got words up there, Doug?
Yes.
Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been. I wish that I could go and let me cry in vain, and let me be alone again. The only girl I care about has gone away, looking for a brand new start. But little does she know that when she left that day, along with her she took my heart. Rain, please tell me that I seem bad, for her to steal my heart away when she don't care. I can't send another 'cause my heart's somewhere far away.
The only girl I care about
has gone away, looking for a brand new start.
But little does she know that when she left that day, along with her she took my heart. Rain was to tell her that I love her so. Please ask the sun to set my heart aglow. Rain in her heart and let her love we know start to grow. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been. I wish that it would go and let me cry in vain, and let me be alone again. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. You remember the recording? They had the droplets coming down in the recording as you listen to it. It was great.
Okay. 1970 copyright. So let's listen to this one. Thinking. Anything coming to mind? I'll give you one more note. And the notes I'm playing are in the middle of the song, but it's the title that'll help you. You want rhythm and chords and everything. You're such big babies. But I love you. That's it. Who said it? Laura, you're going to have to do a solo next time. You've been holding out on me, girlfriend. You've been holding out. That's it. Who do you think of when you think of that song? Oh, was that Simon and Garfunkel? I was thinking it was the Carpenters, but I think you're right. Anyway, it's part of my past. Who is it? It's the Carpenters. Did I put the picture up? I could. Oh, it is up there. Yeah. The lyrics are by Paul Williams, so whatever that means. Anyway, this is my generation and yours. Here we go.
Talking to myself and feeling old. Sometimes I'd like to quit. Nothing ever seems to fit. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. What I've got they used to call the blues. Nothing is really wrong. Feeling like I don't belong. Walking around some kind of lonely clown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you. Nice to know somebody loves me. Funny, but it seems that's the only thing to do. Run and find the one who loves me. What I feel has come and gone before. No need to talk it out. We know what it's all about. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you. Nice to know somebody loves me. Funny, but it seems that it's the only thing to do. Run and find the one who loves me. What I feel has come and gone before. No need to talk it out. We know what it's all about. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
I think we had the best generation for songs. I just love them from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Of course, our parents probably felt the same way. And this is probably one from our parents' generation. All right, here's your notes. The last song of the day. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. You're going to get that. Sybil, I know you're going. Gwen? No, but that's a good song, Blue Velvet. She wore blue velvet. Who was that? Who did Blue Velvet? Was it Bobby Vinton? Yeah, that's a good one. I'll get that on my list. But no, this one is more from. Well, no, it says it's from '59, but I thought it was. No, the song is from 1926. It was resurrected and used in a movie. Okay, I'll play 4 notes. No, but that's a good one too. Y'all got some good songs up there. You're not very good at recognizing this tune, though. You want rhythm and chords? It'll be a giveaway. Ain't she sweet? Just a walking down the street. All right, I don't have an introduction, Doug. Let me see what I can do here.
Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. Now I ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice? Just 'cause that I in her direction, oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kinda neat? Well, I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she sweet?
All right, that's all we got for you today.
It's good to have you folks.
It lifts us up to do this, and I hope it does for you. That's the only reason Doug and I do it. Music is a gift, but it's a gift God gives us to share with others. Now, I can sit there at my piano at home and enjoy it, but it's so much more of a gift when we take what God gives us and share it with others. That's what we're meant to do. I'm going to give you a sneak preview of something. sometimes 77-year-old nanas have dreams too. And I had a dream, a vision, I guess a desire to have a band at Scotia. And ever since we came here, I've been asking residents, do you play? Do you play? Do you play? I wanted a jazz band or more of just a garage type band to play music. And everybody said, I used to. We have a lot of used to's here. I used to be in the pool. I used to play this. I used to, but my lip's gone, or my instrument's gone, or whatever. So I didn't give up on it, but I kept wishing that we could have a band. I knew I could do a keyboard, and I wanted it to be portable so that it didn't always have to be here. And so I believe, Pete, I think you probably birthed this baby with me, didn't you? Pete is in our choir at church, and we're losing him this next weekend. He and his wife. We're so glad to have you with us today. One day in choir, I don't know, I said something about needing a keyboard, did I? And Pete said, I have one. I'll bring it to your house. Wow. I thought, well, it may or may not do what I want. It did more than I want. He brought it to my house the next day, said, if you need any help setting it up, I'll help you. I got it set up, and it was not your little kid's practice. It was the real Yamaha keyboard with all the bells and whistles, which I needed. And I said, Doug, Pete didn't say I could have it, and he didn't say how much it was. He just said, I'll bring it to your house. I'm going to call him now, and I'm going to ask what he wants for it. Doug said, good luck with that. So I called Pete. I said, Pete, how much do you want for it? Do you remember what you said? You said, it's a gift. It's a gift. So, yeah, that deserves a hand, because, I mean, he immediately gave it to me. He said, you'll use it more than I will. Okay, so we had a keyboard, but we still needed drums for the drummer. Do you know who my drummer is going to be? Sarah. Sarah, our wellness director, is a great drummer. And so then I needed drums, and I could not have planned this. The Lord went before, leaving little breadcrumbs. Sarah said, well, my church is getting a new set of drums for their early praise service. And she said, we're going to be getting rid of our old ones. I said, okay. I said, put Scotia's name on it. Then I had to go to the board and talk to the president and the vice president, and I'm the secretary, but we talked about it, and I said, I think we're birthing a band. I need money. They said, well, submit a budget. So I did. I wrote down what I thought the music would cost, because it's not free. You have to buy music. We did not have to buy a keyboard, thanks to you, my brother. But we did pay for the drums. And the board was very generous in saying, if this music is meant for Scotia, we absolutely will support you. And they did. And so I got the drums, and so we had a Jack Ficklin. Everybody knows Jack Ficklin in this city, correct? And he's played sax here with us before. Jack is on sax, of course. And I had to have a learning curve. Okay, when you order music for a saxophone, it's not the same key as mine. If you've ever played in band, there are C instruments, and then there are B flat instruments, depending on which sax. Some of them are E. Anyway, I had no idea how to go. We were just so lost, weren't we? And I thought, how do I order music in the right keys for the right people? I've got Jack on sax, me on keys. I know to order mine in C. Drum, she said, I don't need music. I'll just listen, play. Okay. So I thought, I know, I'll call my son. My son is a worship leader, musician with a master's degree, and he's very smart. He takes after his daddy. And I said, Kent, I am trying to order music. We're forming a band. You're what? I said, we're forming a band. And I said, if I'm playing in C, what does the B flat instrument need to do? Go up or down a step? And my precious son that I went through the valley of the shadow of death to bring in the world said, Mom, I always get confused on that too. I have to Google it. And so I didn't have any resources. Honest to goodness, Doug and I sat on the couch, and we typed in and started looking, and I found exactly the site that I needed, 2 websites, right? And we started buying the music. And you would know this, that tenor sax needed it to be a step higher. So if I ordered in C, he got it in D. If I played in F, he got it in G. Okay, the story doesn't end there. So now we've got a 4-piece band, right? Me. No, I didn't tell you about Jonathan Easterlin. He plays bass at Sarah's church. He played in the rock band that we had that night. We had our masquerade party. He was on the end, sang a solo. Remember? There were 4 guitarists. So I bumped into him at the masquerade party. I said, "You don't know me, but..." And I said, real quick, he said, "Well, we'll talk, but I'm really, really busy." I said, "Oh, okay." So I got him on the phone. He said, "I'm part of a lot of groups, and I don't have much time to practice." And I said, "Well, this is a gift for Scotia." And after saying he was busy and he didn't have much time, as soon as I said it's a gift to Scotia, he said, "I'm on board." And then I said, "Now I got to tell you, we don't pay." And he didn't leave. So then we had 4 pieces. Doug is having problems with his sciatica. We went to the doctor's office last week, ortho, and a man comes up to me and he looks vaguely familiar. And then I recognized him. He used to do the sound in our church here in town when we did music. His name is Mike Dennison. Does anybody know Mike Dennison? You know him. You know Mike. How many of you know Mike? Do you know what he plays? Trumpet. And he came up to me and I said, "Mike, how you doing?" He said, "I'm doing good." He said, "I had lung cancer." I said, "Oh dear." He said, "I had a little spot and they have removed it and I'm like 2 months down the road to healing, but I want to get back to playing my trumpet." I said, "Well, I have an opportunity for you." And I gave him 3 days to call me back. He called me Monday and he said, "I want in." I said, "Well, we'll let you ease in." He said, "Because I've got to get my lung power and my lip back." So we have a 5-piece band. Is that not crazy? And so we practiced about 2 weeks ago in Martha and John Olmstead's home. We've got everything set up over there because they're gone for months. She knows. They know. It's okay. And so we practiced a set of 20 songs that we'll be playing at our Cinco de Mayo party on the patio. It's really Uno de Mayo because we're going to do it on May 1st. And I said, "Doug, I'm going over to Martha's and we're going to birth a baby. If it's ugly, I'm going to love it anyway." But it wasn't ugly, y'all. It sounded good. And that was before we got the second horn player. So I just want to give God credit for this. And I want you to give God credit by applauding, because Kathy could not have done this. I didn't even know how to navigate. But you're going to hear the debut of the Scotia Band. They needed a name, and I didn't have one. Pat Ramsden gave it to us when we played for her service. And she said, "It's Cats Cool Cats." So I don't know how cool we are, but Cats Cool Cats is going to practice again Saturday week. And we've already got about 2 gigs on campus here. So I'm excited. I hope you are. And if my baby's ugly, please say, "What a healthy baby." You don't tell me it's ugly. We're going to do our best, all right? Thank y'all for coming. We'll see you next month here. Same time, same station.